Hey folks, how's it going? Connor Doobie here, host of the show, doing a little behind the scenes. What I used to call, we used to do a show a number of years ago. We called it the podcast behind the podcast. So I have no guest, and I'm just here for a few short minutes to talk strategy with you and reflect and share a bit on a topic that has become increasingly interesting and obviously one I've been very obsessed with and involved with over the last several years, which is podcasting for your business. And, to be fair, podcasting for your business, and especially when you're in the world of B2B, selling business to business, is probably not what you think. So I want to dive into it, share some ideas with you, share what's worked, share what hasn't worked, and how you can potentially take this multimedia format and apply it into your B2B marketing with great effect, great results, and an amazing differentiator to get yourself out there compared to what all of your competitors are doing. Because again, at the end of the day, I like to say content is currency for your business. And if you're not taking advantage of it, minimally staying top of mind, being relevant, providing value, your competitors are going to do it for you. And you don't want that. You don't want to lose market share. You don't want to lose your clients' attention to competitors that are doing a much better job at communicating their unique differentiators, their social proof, and all of that. By the way, please make sure you go back, check out all of the great episodes that we've been launching recently. We release a new guest episode every Monday. Some Mondays we roll over to the next Monday, but every Monday there is a guest interview. We've brought in business celebrities, marketing experts, top CMOs in massive multi-billion dollar companies, and they're sharing real strategies, right? I could bring on the authors and the influencers, and I've had plenty of them, but personally, my favorite is learning from real practitioners. So make sure you check those out. Podcast on the go. It's on all your favorite podcast apps. You can also watch it YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn pages, B2B Mentors. All you got to do is look it up, but you already found it because you're listening to this right now or seeing this video possibly. Number one, podcasting for your business. Now, how do you do this, right? What is the approach that you can take to applying a podcast into your business? Well, number one, and one of my favorite formats is interviewing your clients. I mean, a podcasting doesn't have to be what most people think it is, right? You're like an influencer, you're a celebrity, you've got this wild show that gets millions of downloads. It's different in the world of B2B, especially in the beginning when you launch a show. Most people are going to be consuming the content that's coming from that show in bite-sized pieces versus listening into the full episode in the very beginning till you get awareness, get traction. Then they go subscribe and they're there. They're like, most people who subscribe to your podcast are consistent consumers, subscribers. They go back and listen to your podcast episodes from the very beginning, and the stickiness opposed to like having someone on your email list is so much greater. But having your clients on your I mean, these could literally be a 5-minute interview. They could be 10 minutes. They could be 20 minutes. They could be an hour, which I wouldn't recommend going more than that in the very beginning. But bringing your clients on is the best social proof that you can develop for your company. One, people can listen to it. Two, they can watch it. They can see that trust. They can see that relationship. And if you think in terms of the prospects that you're going after and you're trying to get the attention of and get them interested in reaching out to you, they want to learn more from their peers than what a company in the industry may be just like talking about themselves. And that is where that social proof comes to play, is learning from your peers and getting access to your peers. And that is what podcasting can do. Oh, this company and this person in this industry, they're a client of theirs. They love, they're very engaged. They've had great results, great success. I definitely want to talk to them as well. So having your clients is one format that you can develop out for a podcast show. Number two, your team, right? I know massive Fortune 50 companies, and they do podcasts literally for their internal team. Now, I'm not saying this has to be just for your team, and this could come in one of two ways. You're doing a podcast for your team, talking about what's going on in the business, investor relations, clients, wins, losses, market movement, you name it. And that is a great format to build a podcast because, again, everyone consumes differently. Your employees can listen to it, your team members, they can consume it. That relationship and that trust, especially now that we're remote and you don't get access to that as much as we used to, is so much deeper when you're looking at the format of internal communications through a podcast. On the flip side of that, too, is your podcast can rotate through various team members. So consider your CEO, your marketing people. Like, there is no one person you have to have hosting a podcast that you're doing. It could be multiple team members that you have and rotating along based on the guests you're having, based on the topics, based on the subject matter. And that also creates a very unique take and kind of interesting format for a podcast because you're getting the feel of multiple voices and again, that exposure to the outside world, whether it's internal or external, is better because it helps you to kind of build relationships and resonate with those folks on your team. Number three is prospects. And I've done this for quite a while. I can reach out to almost any one of my prospects, whether it's a partner, whether it's a direct client that I'm interested in working with down the road. And I go into it with absolutely zero intention of like just trying to pitch on my product or service because that's what everybody does, right? Everyone is getting hit up constantly by vendors trying to sell them something. But for the formatting of a podcast, the ability for them in their career to share their insights, share their wisdom, being featured on a podcast helps further their career development, helps develop their personal brand, which is very attractive when it comes, maybe they're navigating different positions in the future, and or just for the authority or the ability to promote their company and what they do. That is a great case study to have prospects on your podcast. And it's very simple. I mean, just reaching out to them, whether it's email, whether it's LinkedIn, but 9 out of 10 times, they're going to say, yes, I'm interested in that. You don't go into it trying to be just like a salesperson, but it helps you to build those much deeper and authentic relationships, which is what business is all about at the end of the day, is relationships. Ask any incredibly successful business person, and they will tell you it's about the relationships. And so podcasting can be that very strong vehicle to build those relationships, no matter where you are in the world. Number 4 or 5 would be influencers. And for every industry, even the most unique niche of industries, there's an influencer involved. Influencer doesn't mean you got millions and millions of followers. It means that you have a core audience of your potential prospects, whether you're in IT, you're in staffing, biotech, SaaS, marketing, you name it. The influencers have your audience. So why not build a relationship with them too? And when you bring them onto your show, do an interview together, again, you're building a great relationship, but you're creating content out of that chances are they're going to be more than willing when you supply it to send it to their email list, to publish it to their LinkedIn feeds and profiles and get content out of it. And that is a key opportunity for you to get all this great marketing exposure and new introductions to people within your market for virtually $0. And another key part of this, just podcasting for your business, again, going back to everyone consumes content differently. So some people prefer to read, some people prefer to watch, some people prefer to listen, and doing a podcast can help to accommodate all of those things, right? You look at what we do with most of our shows. Each episode, we do an article write-up We publish it to our website. That helps feed our SEO, helps give a resource center for people to go to. We send it out in our newsletter, send them out as e-flyers to our email list that's already familiar with us. We create the video out of it. That goes on all of the platforms in the micro content, especially that we put out on, LinkedIn and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, you name it. The multimedia formatting and the amount of content that you can get out of it is just absolutely incredible. So, with that, I want to know your thoughts. Have you considered launching? Have you considered the branding power and influence of launching a B2B formatted podcast? Hopefully, these tips helped. Make sure you're subscribed to this show so that you get more as I continue to do them. I've got lots and lots of other past episodes talking about content strategy as it pertains to business sales. Lots of great guests, so make sure you check that out as well. And if you feel like, hey, I kind of already know, I've tried this, I've tried with vendors, I've tried outsourcing it, I've tried hiring staff to pull my, social proof content efforts off. Well, we can help with that. Go to provencontent.com is our show sponsor, and provide a free audit. Go through, see what's working, what's not working, where can you cut your costs by majority, on average 30% of your content team's production costs, and find a roadmap to help you get your podcast, blogs, newsletters, the whole suite of B2B content development done for you so you can save time, achieve better results, and become the go-to influencers and the obvious vendor of choice in your business. Much love to you, my friends. Make it great. And with that, I will see you on the other side.